How's it going, guys? It's Mahe with Core Team Hawaii. It's supposed to be Mahe and Derek, but he's not here. So we're gonna start without him. So today we wanted to tackle the question that some of you guys have, and that is, am I choosing a townhouse or condo, or am I gonna go single family? Now, sometimes that question can be a bit of a no-brainer. Maybe that's just simply your budget. Maybe I only have the budget right now to start off with townhome, or maybe I have more flexibility and we'll go with single family. However, there may be another group of us who are in possibly the $750,000, $800,000 range where that question can be a little bit tougher to answer. So today we're going to talk about all of the different things to consider and how we can make that decision. Today we're in Ho'opili. We're on a specific street where it's a pretty clear crosshair between both options, townhomes on one side, single family on the other. This is one of those communities that offers both. Another one is Koa Ridge. Go ahead and check out that video too when you have a minute.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, speak of the devil, look who it is. You're late.
You gotta stand in the road.
Yes, I can. Not the rubber slippers. Where were you? How come you late?
You guys aren't the best at giving directions.
Oh, no. This is very easy to find. It's literally across the street from where we said we were going to meet.
No,
We gave him the location twice. So when we say condo in Hawaii, we kind of use those things interchangeably for townhouses and condos. So right now where we're standing, this is more of what we consider an actual townhouse. So it's like a low-rise, 2-level, maybe a walk-up. Sometimes we have, a little courtyard or something downstairs, but we're also gonna go check out what we consider more classically a condo, like a mid-rise building or up to a high-rise.
If there's 6 units like this, would you call it a townhome? I have a feel. Oh, and tell us where you're from. I have a feeling if you're from the mainland, you say, no, those are condos. Townhomes are like duplexes with garages. This is definitely a townhome in Hawaii, and by real estate technical definition. Hey!
We were just talking about you.
We're just... How's it? Oh, okay. Yeah. We tell you to rank these 3 things in a consult. In order, tell us what's most important, what's least important, what's mid. Community, commute, and type and quality of home. Well, I want a good commute, and I want a really dope community, and then I want like a really nice single family for $700. And it's like, okay, well, this is why we do this exercise.
It's like the fast, good, cheap thing, right? Like you got to pick 2.
Oh yeah. In sales, there's this thing like you can have it 2 out of 3 ways. You can have it cheap, you can have it fast, or you can have it good. If you have it cheap and fast, it won't be good. If you have it fast and good, it won't be cheap, right?
Yeah. It's the same for real estate.
It's the same for real estate. When you talk about the house, the commute, and the community, if all 3 are the most sought after, it's not gonna be cheap. Well, should you buy condo or should you buy single family? I want to point something out. One way you can think about condo versus townhome, because mainland definition is a little different than Hawaii. If you're entering from the inside of a stack, or there is a stack, internal entry. Sometimes condos will have external entry, like a hotel, motel type thing. But for the most part, townhomes, you can enter from the ground. In the case of these, there are people who can enter on the ground floor, but there are also people who can enter above them from interior. That makes that a condo.
It's almost like townhousey on the bottom. It's not normal to have like, you can come in, your door is downstairs when you're in a condo building that also has like a main lobby entrance.
Think about like a building in downtown Honolulu where there's a car dealership on the bottom or shops on the bottom, but the rest is condos. If the first floor had units, it wouldn't make them townhomes. When you have 100 above you. Right? Do you call Ho'opili Eva or Kapolei? Or do you just say Ho'opili? I say Eva. But if you have to go Eva versus Kapolei, you're going Eva, right? That's why I see it too. But I learned that these kids go to Kapolei High School, at least as it's currently zoned.
But Eva Elementary.
But they go Eva Elementary. I thought they go Campbell, but I learned it's Kapolei. Basically, you can only get a single family, 800,000 and below, Eva and West. Not North Shore, not Kaneohe. I mean, there may be a few anomalies.
Things that are going to require some money.
For all intents and purposes, 800, over 800, 900 plus to go single family anywhere that side of the island.
That's the thing. What is your budget? Because a lot of times for Hawaii buyers, that is the thing that is the determining factor. But if it's not, I'm going single family.
To Mahe's point, we can't answer it for you if it's budget dependent. But then you have clients
who are right in the cusp.
like the Grams, shout outs to the Grams, could also afford single family, but they're trying to budget and run, you know, see where does it make sense, frugality versus appreciation. Let's get into that. But before that, we have our clients that like to bring you food.
Yes, we do.
They could drop the hammer on single family.
Yeah.
They also are city people who enjoy condos.
Yeah.
Maybe uniquely the only client in hundreds of sales that literally could go like north of 1.5 and buy a single family and is like teeter-tottering between that and a deep city condo. They're a unique case, but they're perfect for the channel. Most people who are like, oh, I could go condo, could go single family, we very quickly end up in a direction. Right? Why are they single family versus condo?
Really what it comes down to is they like a specific neighborhood. They're very, very towny people. City people. They like what they like, they eat where they eat, and they want to be close to that. And that's largely a condo market. Enter into the conversation, we want a big dog now. Single family was always there in the background.
Okay.
And could always be a consideration, but always kind of like maybe someday we'll get a big dog, but for now we'll settle for a little dog because that's what condos allow for.
But now they want 80 pounds.
Yeah, so that's one thing too. If we are a big dog family and we can afford either or, that might be a thing that you have to take into consideration. If we're a 3-dog family,
multiple pet and or large size. Most buildings allow a pet of some sort. There aren't a lot that don't allow pets, period. But in their case, they found they went up to an 80-pound limit. It's very limiting.
It was really hard because we looked.
There's very few.
There's like a couple that do 60 and under.
Yeah.
60 was like the biggest we could find.
Yeah.
And then, but most of them are 1 or 2, either 40 being pretty big for condo already, or like a 20 to 25 pound and under limit.
Anyone who has like interest in real estate, wealth building, they're like, get to the point where you tell us which one appreciates better.
Yeah.
So typically it goes condo. These are, if we were in town, these big buildings, typically, commonly the least appreciating of the 3. Townhome next, single family appreciates at a higher rate. However, with single family, you have to budget for a roof, for a driveway. We call these CapEx, capital expenditures. In condos, you don't have to budget for those things. But if you're only moving to Hawaii for 3, 4, 5 years, I mean, if you buy a home with a decent roof, you don't have to worry about that. And then when you go to sell it, it's not like there's this situation where the buyer goes, well, I was gonna give you $900,000, but if you depreciate the roof, it doesn't work like that. Like if the roof's good, it's good, and that's generally how that goes. If it's really new, might be able to get a little more value out of it. If it's really old, that's gonna affect your sales price and maybe ability to lend, to get a loan. But when it's in between, the 80% in between, it's just the same price. The house is gonna sell for the same either way. You don't have to deal with CapEx the same is my point. Typically, if you're buying the right thing, if you're buying the right way. And so I'd rather avoid the maintenance fee and go with the single family, potentially higher appreciation. Now these are all generalities because in a place like Ho'opili, when you go to sell, if the market is down and they're doing releases,
you're battling against a brand new unit.
You're competing. Someone else is selling a brand new product, you know, compared to your 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old product, right? That can affect appreciation rates. In condos, when some people are like, no way, Derek, I bought pre-construction in Kaka'ako and I experienced larger than normal appreciation. Pre-construction condos are a different beast. And that's why I threw my disclaimers in earlier. Pre-construction is a way to experience really good appreciation. But you also might need 100, 150, 200, 250,000 as a down payment that can sit for 2, 3, 4 years stagnant. You have no place to live in, no place to rent and cash flow. Those are unique circumstances. And we're just talking buying condo versus single family. Single family appreciates at a higher rate, typically. So why would you buy condo if you could afford single family? What's another reason?
I travel a lot and I don't have the ability to keep an eye on my place all the time. I like having people close to me, like a single scene, whatever. I like being more in the action, which you just are more prone to be in that type of scenario. I'm single, I'm by myself. I don't need all that space. I can afford it, but what am I gonna do with that? I don't like to clean, me, boom.
Some people are just a little more communal in nature.
Yeah.
They would love if a building had communal bikes, because why have 1,000 people with their own bicycle in storage when you know everyone's not using it all the time? we have 50 bikes that you can check out. Some people would see that as socialist and want no part of that. And neither are wrong. It's just different choice, different living styles.
Or like the specific group that we haven't mentioned yet, going down from a single family to a condo, I'm retiring. I'm an empty nester. I don't need all that space anymore. I can afford it, but it's just too big for me. My kids are gone. I want to retire, have a small place that I no longer need to do the yard. I no longer need to take care of
life
it.
That'll keep you young.
I can walk to things. I can do whatever I want. I don't have stairs to climb up anymore. There's that sect of people that is kind of like also the other exception of like, why would you go down from single family?
Yeah.
If you can afford either.
Dealing with price and preference. We have had people that could go single family, but it would need to be Eva, Kapolei, Waianae. But because they have to commute to town, they can't afford single family in town.
Yeah.
So there are people that are looking at Eva irregardless. And they $750 for a townhome, $850, $900 for a single family. But townhome comes with a maintenance fee. There are people that are right there and the margins are close. There are also people that are at $800 either which way, but they could have 0 to no commute if they go $800 on that side of the island versus $800 here with a single family.
Price point, living space, commute, the school district. These are all different things where those middle ground people who can afford like a $800,000.
Yeah.
Like, am I doing like a big condo, like a $750,000 or $700,000 plus my maintenance fee condo in Mililani because it's closer to where I work?
Yeah.
Or am I willing to make that drive to have that single family home in Eva Beach? So those are two wildly different things, and needing to figure out what you prioritize and how heavily we're going to weight certain things are largely going to decide which way you go in those two extremely different circumstances.
When we go on our lives on Tuesdays,
Yeah.
typically every Tuesday we go live, we cover this. We will make a video specific to it, but there are insurance issues with condos right now. And it gets into steel and wood frame versus concrete. It gets into who insured you. Are you underinsured? What are the deductibles based, weighted against your premiums? All of these have to do with what kind of lending you can get, if you can get lending at all. Aside from these Wild West, non-QM, non-conforming loans. Yeah. If you're watching this in the next, from the time it drops to the next year or two, that's going to be a big conversation.
Yeah, and it'll keep changing, so.
It'll keep changing. It's evolving, right?
Yeah.
For that reason, if I'm 50-50 right now, I go single family.
Yeah, I agree.
However, I had that conversation extensively with those clients when you were on vacation, and they're pretty unfazed.
Yeah.
We eat, like you said, we eat where we eat.
Yeah.
We live how we live, and we're kind of fit in the condo.
The person who plans to live in something long term is less affected by that conversation.
That's true.
And they're very long term. They're like, want to set some roots down, whether it's single family or a condo.
Yeah.
So I'd be less phased as well.
Yeah.
If I'm like, 10 years, I'm not really worried about it. But if you're watching and you're one of our like 3 to 5 year clients, that is another element that right now.
5 years, I'm still fairly confident and bullish, but 3 years, I'm a little like.
And it varies, right? We have people who are like 2 years, absolutely not. 3 years, maybe. 5 years, I don't know. And it varies.
I don't want to go too long on a topic that we're kind of glazing over.
Hop into the lives for sure.
And drop a comment if you want the masterclass video on this recent insurance issue that's affecting places like Hawaii, California, etc., where buildings and communities are having a hard time getting insurance, and even some single family.
Hey, it's done. Great to see you. I'm sorry I'm a little sweaty.
We are too. He put us on the corner in the sun.
This is serendipitous because we're doing a video today on condo versus single family. And then our former clients, Brian and Danielle, yell from the balcony, "Hey, how's it?" And 3 minutes prior, we were like, "Hey, that's their unit right there."
Home. I wonder if Brian and Danielle are home. And
then you're like, "Hey, we're bursting out of the seams," which is, I don't think in our little, what would the word be, like monologue, our little dialogue we had.
we talked about the
bursting out of the seams.
Right, just
like
needing to size up.
Going from one to the other.
Yeah.
And that's where you guys are at.
It was how we got to the island, right? And so it suited us at the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, we definitely, kids are getting bigger. We're collecting things.
Yeah.
So we need a little elbow room.
I like yards,
Yeah.
garages.
Yeah.
Do you think if you had a yard in a bigger house, there would be less fighting? This is a parenting question. I'm afraid I'm gonna have like a $6,000 mortgage.
No.
And your kids are still fighting
still
every day.
want to jump off the house.
Yeah, so we moved from
lock the
Texas,
door.
right? Had a big yard, and man, I wish I could open the back door and say, "Go outside and play."
outside.
Lock
right?
the door. How
Yeah.
nice of you.
Yeah.
One day.
That's good parenting, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
When I moved to Hawaii, it was right on the back end of Pogs. You had that one.
Yeah, I remember this one.
I remember standing right here, and Danielle said, I parent on the FAFO principle.
Loosely did the back of the napkin math on renting this place out, and there's no way we could even come close to breaking even. They're renting 2 bedrooms and 1 bedrooms in this building and the one over for like less than our mortgages. There's no way.
I mean, you guys do have a desirable unit, though. Nice view.
Super happy.
Maybe we'll keep this saga going and update as you guys consider it.
Yeah, maybe. I know we just kind of like sprung this on you in the first place, but now you may be in a saga. So tune in later for updates on Brian and Danielle.
Actually make it a trilogy.
A trilogy.
Ooh, there we go. The end of the video will be us inside with drinks and kids locked out.
Kids outside
Through
with
a
the
screen
water
door.
Yeah. Yes.
We'll get some peace and quiet.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Good to see you guys.
Okay, go get that baby. Have fun with your dad.
I was late because you know how I said I might be selling my townhome investment? We have people moving in for 34 days. My wife said, hey, the battery's low on the door sometime during their stay. The electronic lock thing is gonna start beeping, and so we should replace the battery now.
Okay.
So I went and did that. The birds always poop on the railing and stuff. No way to prevent it, but when I can go the day before, I go and wipe that. Turn on the AC, turn on the lights since I was there. It's not mandatory. If you're watching and you're like, oh, Derek complaining about first world problems, how ridiculous, you would be right.
Yeah.
That's a very first world issue. I'm going to do something to my investment before people move in. Negative cash flow, $1,000 a month. Sounds terrible. But if you buy something over here where you negative cash flow versus over there where you have to actively manage, but this is no annoyance to your life, and that is more commonly annoyance to your life, depending on your professional schedule, the negative cash flow, but overtime appreciation might be more desirable.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're considering transitioning to. This is active for us. When we have active time to do active things, I'm probably better off served making another video, giving some more information, helping a client, than changing batteries.
Yeah.
We haven't decided. Since I shot that video, I backed off on selling it a bit. We're either gonna have it managed by someone else or we're gonna sell it. But we definitely aren't long-term landlords for an Airbnb.
Yeah.